Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Students Guide podcast, a place where we listen, we learn, we grow, and improve to become the best versions of ourselves. If today is your first time seeing this channel, this is a platform where we share things that would enlighten you as a student in the university or even outside your studies from the university. And so subscribe and then be part of this amazing family. Today we have an interview session, which is something that has been a while since we did it. And it's known as the path to greatness, right? The path to greatness, where we speak with alumnus or students of KNUST who are making amazing exploits. So today we have one gentleman over here. He's been on the podcast before, but then at that time it was an audio only. And today he's back again to share some wonderful insights with us. And so if you are someone who is interested in setting up your own business, or you are someone who is an innovator, you have a startup, this is an interview that you shouldn't miss. Yes, so you are still on the Students Guide podcast. And like I mentioned earlier, today is the first ever interview session that we are doing in a while. And he's a top don. He's a guy that over the years I've seen his growth, and he's someone that I'm very proud to know. So, Caleb, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
It's been a while, Charlie.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Now you are getting money, so as a Yama Kosoma.
We are coping.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah. So, if somebody is watching this interview, why should the person stay and not skip and go watch something else?
If only the person is not willing to fail, right? If the person has an inspiration of being in the innovation space, or being an entrepreneur, or getting abreast with the current trends in startups, in company building and business setup, then I don't think you should try and skip. It's better you stay and watch.
Okay. So if you are someone who is very passionate about growing your business and developing your business, you shouldn't miss this interview because it will help you a lot. Right? So for someone who doesn't know you, who is Mr. Caleb Ajimanduya?
Okay. Mr. Caleb Ajimanduya, like, everybody knows me. Probably people know my name, but don't know me by face. What people know is calculus. Yeah, so I'm a young innovator, a young entrepreneur, looking forward to grow and build innovators or tech innovators to reach their potential in accessing funds, growing, building their businesses, and impacting society as well.
Wow. Wow. Then you are doing very well.
Yeah, exactly.
And in terms of your experience and what has made you have the capacity to do what you are doing now, for someone who doesn't know you, what has been the experience over the years?
Exactly. So when we look past, even in the previous podcast, I mentioned some of the things that I've been doing and I've been building so far. So it started way back in the university where I was just like everybody else, just like an average student trying to get their grades and move on. Until level 300, I looked at myself and realized that things that I've been wanting to do, I've slacked on it for a while. So in terms of being an innovator myself, trying to innovate, it was a big deal. I think that was level 200 second semester. Then I needed to restructure myself, restructure my life, and build it up from there. So it started by joining school societies, right, or campus societies,
right,
where I joined the Innovators, which is,
Innovators,
of course, the most popular part. Yes.
If you are not part of Innovators, you should, because it will change you.
Exactly. So I joined the Innovators Club, where we went through a couple of trainings in innovation, social enterprise, and many more. But aside from Innovators, I was part of the Huawei Club, National Society of Black Engineers, and then many more other societies that you can think of. Yes, I was part. And then through building, I had some learning experience, joining volunteering communities and volunteering on some path. I served as the UN coordinator or UN Foundation's coordinator for African Youth Mentorship. Notion ambassador for Ghana, one of the ambassadors for Ghana, being the only Ghanaian being part of the Ernest McLeod grant,
Wow.
which I won as part. I think we're about 5 in 2023, if I have it right. Yes, 5 in 2023, and then I was the only Ghanaian among that. But beyond that, we've built a lot,
Wow.
and they've contributed a lot into the society. Yes.
Then it means that your experience portfolio is mind blowing. And so
Exactly.
yeah, what we are going to talk about,
Yes.
I think you are from the right side or person of expertise to actually give out your experience.
Yes.
And so today our focus is on how, as a student or as a young person, you can build your own business or a startup. And looking at the current trends in entrepreneurship or innovation, you share with us some of the things that can help them in their business world.
All right.
So before we start, you've developed something known as RTIC, which is Real World Tech Innovation Center. What is it?
Okay. So I'll break it down as far as RTIC is concerned. Now, if anybody knows me now, you know that I'm in the position of digital transformation.
Okay.
Right? That comprises of data science, AI, blockchain, and then many more. How to optimize businesses and people through either customer experience using this same data, using AI to transform businesses and people and impact lives. So that has been my trajectory now. Now, RTIC, the full meaning is Real World Tech Innovation Center.
Okay.
Right, Real World Tech Innovation Center. And then it's stemmed up from starting in STEM schools, right? But I'll say this. When we look at our innovation space or technological innovation space, we see a lot of people that you always get wild with their ideas, trying to build, trying to innovate freely, trying to adapt to the current trends in technology to build businesses. But there are a lot of gaps. There are a lot of gaps or loopholes that they find themselves in or they meet up to and then cannot move on from there.
Okay.
Some of these gaps are fragments in the startup ecosystem, especially tech, right? So there are a lot of fragments coming from even learning, let's say, IoT to build a simple bulb is also a problem. It's either they don't have access to funds, right, from the senior high schools or from the junior high schools. Maybe somebody wants to build a robot, but their school is non-funded. The individuals are non-funded, and it becomes a problem.
Okay.
And without funds, you can't even get trainers to come and train you. You can't get the materials that you have to do. And even though you can build or you can have access to the funds to build that particular product, how do you transform it into business?
Okay.
How do you transform it from the breadboard to the boardroom to attract investment, to get clients, to get customers, and build it on from there? That has been a huge problem that myself I've also gone through. And then you can share similar examples when we're in Actus trying to build and all of that.
That's true.
Majority of some of the things that we have to do is to chase grants and funds to help us start and all of that. That is a huge burden. So what is the position of RTIC? Then RTIC incepted to exist to bridge these gaps. Now, how are we building these gaps? We are creating a network pool of founders and innovators, right? That's not necessarily only innovators, but comprises of investors, right? VC capitals, sandbox innovation, not necessarily to just groom innovators, but they have all the necessary environment or the requirements in a very good ecosystem to innovate freely, build on their startup, have access to the investments, have access to clients, and then scale from there.
Wow.
So RTIC is building a tight-knit network of innovators, funding opportunities, investment, regulatory sandbox, meaning ecosystem players like let's say a person from or an expert from Bank of Ghana, an expert from data agency, an expert from NCA coming together to help these innovators build and build businesses out of their tech products.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Then the introduction of RTIC is kind of bridging a gap that is existing.
Exactly.
And that's very wonderful.
Yes.
So, in your experience of what you've done so far, what would you say is the most exciting thing that you've seen in the current era of startups? Because now we are in the era of AI and business are changing from how it was earlier. And so, what would you think, or what do you think is the most exciting thing that you've seen so far?
Okay. So when you look at the tech innovation landscape, right, it's very wonderful. One thing that I hear people say, okay, Ghana, we don't have some structures, right? And then the new technological trends, and for us to utilize them will become a problem. And I'll be like, and so what? So shouldn't we learn the new trends? The fact that we have some gaps, does that mean that we can't still catch up? Right now, some of the fun facts that I've really seen as far as this tech innovation ecosystem is concerned is you realize that the enthusiasm that the current youth, like myself and the young ones, want to build, how enthusiastic they've become, how energized or how poised they are to create, to build. But the gaps is currently the problem.
Yeah,
but the most exciting part is their willingness to learn, to build like myself, to build with my team, to build with my co-founders and more. That is one exciting part that I've really seen, and then make me do what I want to do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. If you're enjoying the conversation, don't forget to like it and then subscribe as well to help us grow. Someone is watching this interview and the person seriously wants to start a business. What would you, from your experience, give us the right or the appropriate steps in starting your own business or probably a startup?
Okay. So if we look at the current trends, right, in business, right, or in tech, I think I'll be biased toward technological innovations and technological businesses for now, because last time we talked about the other business. So you can see that there are a lot of things that people don't know about, right? Now, for you to start, I don't think you just is about the willingness to start a business that you have to use to start. Okay, it's about being able to identify problems and validating those problems, right? Now, if I talk about problem identification, sometimes you cannot just be in your room and identify a problem. You need to go out. You need to join societies. You need to know what's going on ground for you to know that, yes, this problem actually exists, for you to discover a particular problem. Maybe it might be, let's say, a particular bank, right, that has been there existing and all of that. But one day that you visited, you encountered a particular problem, you engaged them, and you got to realize that, okay, that problem exists. That's the validation of the problem validation, right? So once you validate that particular problem, there are a lot of other things that you need to know. You need to understand the market in which this problem is in, the market gap, because anybody willing to give you money or even for you to be able to bootstrap and then innovate or build your business in that particular space or on that particular problem, it means that you need to understand the structural analysis or the market gap, right, when it comes to this particular structure in the industry. So let's say you want to build a particular, let's say you want to build a remote, right? And then you look at the ecosystem and then you realize that only 1,000 people in Ashanti region need a remote. And we check if the whole country, let's say 10,000 people only need a remote. So it means when you build, not all 10,000 people are going to patronize your remote. And there are other competitors in the market. So how do you penetrate? Meaning you need to understand the market. Okay. And there's one thing that I always say: for you to penetrate any market is about creating your own lean market. I think I've mentioned this strategy before, which is called the blue ocean strategy. Now, the only part for you to be able to create a lean market and build a blue ocean strategy is, one, by your face, and building in a community.
Okay.
Okay. That is why you need a very good sandbox innovation and a very good ecosystem to build freely in. Once you build in a community by making sure that the people that you are building for are kind of partners, not just customers or clients, then they are willing to contribute to your innovation, but you are solving their problems for them. And then out of that, you create your lean market. So if you look at RTIC, for instance, we could have just built STEM programs and contribute there. But we launched the X Foundry to get a community of tech enthusiasts that are willing to build solutions in tech, right? And businesses in tech. And out of that community, if you look at my team right now, all the team members are people from the innovation program. That is the X Foundry program.
Wow.
And you can see their willingness to contribute to RTIC and build on RTIC. Meaning somebody can say, oh, there are other incubators and all of that. But when you realize all these individuals that are being in RTIC or the X Foundry program, got to realize that the other incubators don't involve them in contributing to the solution that they themselves are even facing. Okay, so you need that to create a lean market for yourself, and then you can build it on from there. I think maybe the rest of the conversation will let me highlight on some of the points.
Okay, you mentioned our X Foundry.
Yes.
Somebody might not know. I know what X Foundry is, but then in, let's say, just 30 seconds, what is X Foundry?
Okay, X Foundry is one of the products of RTIC. So X Foundry is an innovation acceleration program that seeks to train these young ones, train young innovators. They want to innovate freely, but they don't even understand tech trends. They don't even understand the tech ecosystem. What tech can be used in what industry, right? So when we talk about health tech, we talk about pharma tech, when we even talk about innovation in supply chains, when we talk about AI technologies, blockchain technologies, how do you adapt or use blockchain to solve a problem in maybe agriculture? All these things are not really understood clearly by these young innovators. So X Foundry seeks to bridge that gap, train these innovators, give them the tools so that they can start building.
And now to one very most important thing. For me, and from what I've seen and learned, whatever you want to do, mindset is the most important thing.
Exactly.
Because you might have the skills, the ability, but then if you have the wrong mindset, it might not work. So what is the essential mindset that somebody would need to be an entrepreneur or even start a business?
Entrepreneurship is very hard. Startups, building a startup is very hard. And if you check, that is why everywhere you go, people are trying to help people become entrepreneurs. Right? It's not like it's fancy, so we can all join and all of that. So for you to start, the right mindset that I think you need is the resilient mindset. Because something that is hard for you to penetrate, it means you are going to fail at some point. Right? No entrepreneur can say that it just sparked and then we moved on and all of that. They failed at a certain point. But the resilient mindset and then the willingness to fail. Okay, I always say this, when you have this mindset, all you have to do is launch quickly, fail faster, and learn faster, right? And that is the resilience. So if you have that resilient mindset, you know that definitely I'm going to fail at some certain point. So I need to fail fast, relearn, and then come back stronger. Yes, and that is the mindset that we even have in RTIC. Yes.
So one most important skill that every person who wants to build a business or do a startup is to have a resilient mindset.
Exactly.
So somebody might be watching, right? The person has a great idea, and lots of people have great ideas. I speak to people a lot, and people really have ideas. But then there is a gap between you having an idea and then execution. So what would you say it's the footprint or kind of the path to help somebody who has an idea to be able to execute it?
All right, that's great. So RTIC launched a program, right, which is an incubation program that we are piloting from for the first 3 months of this year. Right now, one thing that we identified was almost everybody has an idea.
That's
Right.
true.
And idea, if you are to run, you get if you do data or maybe statistics, you understand clustering, right? So you realize that we, the listeners, or we giving advisory, whether transactional advisory or fundraising advisory or execution advisory, you get to realize that when you are to listen to them as you are gathering data, you see a lot of similarities in some of the ideas.
Okay.
But what is the problem that is not making people implement? It's about trying to execute or starting, right? Now, people don't even identify the starting point. But I always say that sometimes asking, right, that I have this idea, how do I start?
Yeah.
Is the starting point.
Okay.
Right. How do I start is a starting point. Sometimes it's a founder problem from idea to execution. Once you have your idea and then the problem can be validated, do you understand the industry that you want to penetrate?
Okay.
Do you even understand something like the BMC, the business model canvas? If you don't understand these basic things, then it's hard for you to build a business around it.
All right.
Okay.
I'm sure you are enjoying this conversation and you are taking notes, because if you are someone who already has a business, these are things that you should learn. And if you are someone who wants to start a business, you should also know this before you start your business. And so there are most times people, yes, have the idea, or somebody has gotten the idea, executed it, but then there's this problem of funding. So from what you do and what you've seen, what are some avenues that, if I have an idea, I've started it, and I want a fund to scale up what I'm doing, what are some of the funding opportunities?
Okay, I'll say join RTIC first.
Okay.
Yes, reach out to RTIC first. But like there are a lot of funding opportunities. Okay, like I mentioned, as an individual, as a founder, as a leader to your team, right? Do you understand funding? Do you understand grants?
Okay.
Do you understand equity? Types of equity, and then many more, right? Then you get to know where the funding opportunity is. So people can give you money and they will say equity free, right? Now, where do you find them? It's joining incubation programs, acceleration programs. You have various sites that you can find them, the opportunities for you, and then many more. But are you building the business to get grants and then have maybe 6 months and then your money is done and you cannot get other revenue streams and many more? So you structure a business that is able to get a revenue stream, a working revenue. Then you get investments. I would always say don't go in for funds and grants, go in for investment. Okay. Even if you are getting a grant, perceive it to be an investment where you need to pay back. Do you get it?
Okay.
So there are various ones. There are various VC firms like the Mest Africa, the Statue, the Zagadat Capital, and then many more, right? That you can reach out. So if you are chasing for investment, then you build an actual business solution, right? To attract investment, not grant. You are not an NGO.
Okay.
You get it? You're a business. So you need a revenue stream. Now, even NGOs create a side business to get revenue streams to keep it going. So don't chase grants, chase investments. And these are some of the investments that I've mentioned. Some too are private investors, angel investors, that you can speak to your uncle somewhere, can speak to a man somewhere, a businessman somewhere, and then the person who is willing to tell you that, okay, your idea is good. I don't really believe in, but because you want to get something going, I'm giving you, let's say, $10,000.
Okay.
Use it. If you are not able to generate anything, then I'll shift it to an equity investment. So now I own 10% of your business. Then I can now give you money, get your financials, get your revenue model there, and then I get a percentage of the business. You get it? So as a leader, you need to understand some of these things and know which kind of fund or investment you should go for.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. It means that the whole point of starting a business, you should know what you're about.
Exactly.
And if you are going in because you want money, probably you might fail.
Yeah, you might fail.
Eventually, the end goal is to get money.
Yes.
But then that shouldn't be what you have up front or what you have in your mind right from the onset.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So that's very wonderful. Now we are in the era of tech, AI and digital tools. Okay. So how can entrepreneurs or startups leverage on these digital tools or tech tools to scale up their startups or businesses?
Okay, so there's this website, the World Economic Forum website. They always do a report and then predict the future.
Okay.
Right? Maybe in the next 10 years, what is going to happen. And then you realize that if you have no digital tools, digital skills, you are going to sink.
Okay.
You cannot fit any job market. You cannot do anything. Right? That is the prediction that they are doing.
Wow.
Because AI alone is going to take 80 million jobs, right? But AI alone is also going to produce equivalent of 80 million jobs.
That means that you need to
get it?
Find yourself in the AI space.
So it's either you lose and then cry and think that, oh, AI has taken my job, or you use AI to get yourself abreast with the new trend in the industry and maintain and then have other avenues. So there is a need for you to, as an entrepreneur, your basic social media, you need to understand it, because WhatsApp is free, TikTok is free, Instagram is free, and then many more. Basic digital marketing tools, you need to understand them, right? Like using these social media to market. Building a dummy website using the Canvas, the Figma tools to build normal websites, create basic designs. You should be able to do, because you can't get co-founders coming to work for you while you are not paying them. If you need co-founders to work as partners, then you need to understand the tools that they are even going to use. If I tell you, if I'm a technical co-founder and I'm telling you that it will take me 3 years to build one software, it could be a very big lie. But sometimes you just need a UI, right? To present to an investor or to pitch. Okay, so if I'm telling you it take 3 years, meanwhile, if you are learned it, you realize that within 1 week to 2 weeks, you can now build a software for yourself, right? So as a leader, have the mindset. You cannot call yourself a leader right now and tell me you don't understand anything digital technology.
Wow.
It's an absolute lie, right? So you need that.
You need the digital tools, and most especially AI.
Yeah, exactly.
AI, which is the new trend now. Because now all the apps, all the, let's say when it comes to healthcare, business, science, everyone is incorporating AI into what they do.
Exactly.
Even the apps we use, Apple has incorporated it. Everyone, and even Duolingo, I use Duolingo a lot too. Duolingo has an AI version. So every aspect is incorporating AI. So it's something you need to embrace yourself in that area. So there are some things that if you don't have an idea about how to go about it, you make mistakes. So what are some of the mistakes you see new entrepreneurs do when they get into the entrepreneurship field?
Thinking about money. Right?
But it's money because of money.
But thinking about money is what will make you feel. Right? Okay. For example, WhatsApp, till now, the WhatsApp we all use have not charged that any money.
That's true. So how is WhatsApp getting money?
Exactly. They are getting money through their APIs, right? For the WhatsApp to be able to communicate to TikTok, to communicate to other apps and all of that. Then you have to pay something, right? If you want to incorporate WhatsApp bots in your business and all of that, then you have to pay something. So that's where they are getting their money. And also they've used WhatsApp, they've built Facebook, they built Instagram. So Mark Zuckerberg, right, has built an ecosystem, a social media ecosystem that communicates with each other to help businesses grow. So if you go and use Instagram plus WhatsApp business to a certain extent, then you have to pay something small. They are selling WhatsApp by gathering data. So they have a lot of data. That's why you can go to Facebook and they tell you, if you want an age group of 18 to 25 people, I can give that to you, and you can market to this particular part. And this is what they like, and this is what they don't like. Do you get it? So they've gathered data. That is where they are making their money from. So if you are starting a business and you go about money. I just have to sell. Yes, you understand your revenue stream, but you just have to realize that you are also investing either in kind or in finance. So ITRC was spending so much on X Foundry program, spending so much currently on our incubation program, right? Because people can't pay for training fees. Training fees can cost like 30,000 to 50,000.
Wow, that's
bringing
huge.
speakers and all of that.
That's huge.
Right? People can't pay. But can we say that because you are in for the money, we are not going to impact or start something? Mind you, you are building a community. You start, if you see somebody like Jollof King, and then the Check City and many more. You see how they do about it. They know the revenue stream is there, but they start when they launch, they give free food.
Yes.
Right? They bring influencers, right, to come and take share, buy one, get one free. We see Pizza Man promo and all of that, right? That's how they start. And once you get a dedicated community that is willing to use your product over and over again, then equally you can now know that yes, they can pay maybe 10 cedis or 20 cedis for the same service again, and they can recommend, right? Once they start to pay, then you know that you have a sustainable business, right? Then you cannot increase prices. But once you get them to continue pay for, let's say, a year, and they start to recommend people to come and use, then you know that you have a growing business. So don't think about the money. Think about ways you can set or you can tease people to use your product and then be willing to pay for your product.
Yes. So you should think of the long term.
Yes,
not
exactly.
Getting money like abruptly. It can be very discouraging when someone starts a business. Yes or no?
Yes, you get discouraged, and you have to be discouraged.
Okay, so how can you overcome that discouragement and then still build on the business?
It's about knowing what is ahead.
Okay.
As I said, you need a resilient mindset. Discouragements can come from many angles. But if you're a student, then I think your discouragement level is very low.
Okay.
You have no pressure of starting your own business. You're going to find a job, go and get your own money and start building before you come and start your business. Parents won't overburden you with those tasks. So it's best you start. So you have the resilient mindset. Know that people are in this together. And for you to actually know that people are in this together is joining a community that is thriving as such, or being in an environment that is thriving as such, or going through what you are doing. Yes.
So then one benefit for students in the university is that in the university you have all the available resources in terms of personnel and then facilities to help you.
Exactly.
So you really need to take advantage of you being in the university or in the university community.
Exactly.
Okay, so where would you say you see the biggest opportunities in entrepreneurship or business in the next 3 to 10 years?
The biggest opportunity. This is a funny question.
Okay.
And then a very serious question. So if you look at the entrepreneurship ecosystem, right, or in the entrepreneurship industry, whatever you may call it, it's very simple to me to see that it's about technology. Now, technology, it's simple, right? It's hard to know, but it's simple to utilize. We are looking at an industry where people crave to use technology. People are wanting to hear heights about it. But if you don't understand traditional business model, you can't transform traditional business models in tech.
Okay.
So the opportunity is in the transformation.
All right.
Right? If you sell, I'm not saying if you sell wache, you think of how to use tech to solve wache,
to sell wache,
to cook wache or something. Yes, that's fine. But if you are selling wache and then your customers are not close to you, how do you reach out to them? Maybe you were using normal calls, they pay cash and come and buy and all of that, right? So you need a particular technological transformation of that business, whether to use an app, whether to use a USSD, whether to use a toll-free call, and all of that. That is the opportunity I see in entrepreneurship right now. The ability to be able to transform businesses. Yes.
Okay. So whatever space you find yourself, make sure that you incorporate tech
Yes.
into what you do.
Yes.
Okay. So, how can people get to benefit from the programs that RTIC does?
Yes, you can check our website at Real World Tech Innovation Center.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So realworldtech.com. Right. You can check our website. You can follow us on all socials. And you can also reach out to me on all socials. My name is Ajmendia Caleb. Even if you type it in Google search, you find me. Right.
You're popular.
And then you can just reach out to me, and then we can take it on from there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this one is going to be the last but one thing that we do. So you look in the camera and then you say, if you have a piece of advice to someone who is starting a business or wants to start a business, they are looking at you, that's your camera. What advice would you give to the person?
Okay. So if you want to start a business, listen to this carefully. You will fail. Know that. You will fail. But fail faster. Execute faster. How do you execute faster? If you have a team, do regular meetings, regular check-ins. For you to launch quickly, fail faster. But with a resilient mindset, you can always build. Not forgetting your founder story. You have a story that resonates with you, for you, and then for others. So if you can craft a very good story about your business, about your solution, then from that story, you get an inspiration and become more resilient in executing and growing your business. That is my advice that I have for you.
Wow. So if you want to start your business, take this advice, right? So I think today we've learned a lot, okay? And myself, I've taken some one or two things that I would incorporate in my small one or two businesses that I'm doing. And I believe that you listening have also learned something, right? If you enjoyed this conversation, I want you to subscribe so that we grow. And then the more we grow, we'll get bigger guests. And I'm sure Caleb will come another time where we talk about branding, because that's another issue that is very interesting. So thank you for listening. If you stayed true to the last part, it means that you are very serious about your business. You are going to succeed, right? So like, share to someone who is also starting a business, and join the Students Guide podcast community. Like I always say, we listen, we learn, we grow. So Caleb, thank you for coming, and
You're welcome.
see you in our next video.